Morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Sunday, the 10th of January. Time straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks. Bullish start to the morning. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 40.089 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 41.478. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high 41.399. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and the key resistance level at 41.969 to pin Bitcoin back. In the event of breakout, should see Bitcoin test resistance at 43.500 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 42.788. Fall through the pivot level, we bring the first major support level sitting at 38.779 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 38,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 37.390. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight narrowing of the bearish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bullish day ahead, so need to keep an eye on that. On the EMA, slight narrowing of the 50 on the 100 and the 200, also suggestive of downside through the morning. So key through the early part of the day would be for Bitcoin to avoid the pivot at 40.089 and break out from yesterday's high at 41.399 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, slightly bullish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 1254.77 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 1336.68. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's new swing high 1310. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 1350 to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, should see Ethereum test resistance at 1400 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1391.91. A fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level at 1199.54 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 1150 levels. Second major support level sits at 1117.63. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing indicative of a bearish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMA, we are seeing the 50 hold its ground on the 100 and the 200, so inconclusive there. Need to keep an eye on that through the morning as well. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot at 1254.77 and break out from yesterday's new swing high 1310 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels are in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also bullish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 173.62 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 183.67. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from key resistance level at 181.55. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 185 to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, should see Litecoin test resistance at 190 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 189.46. A fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level at 167.83 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid some 160 levels. Second major support level sits at 157.78. Looking at the MACD, seeing a widening of the bullish histograms at the turn of the day, supporting the early upside. On the EMA, we're also seeing the 50 pull away marginally from the 100 and the 200, suggesting further upside ahead. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot at 173.62 and break out from the most recent swing high 181.55 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, bullish start to the morning. Going to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 0.3239 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 0.3422. Going to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.34 levels. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 0.345 to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, could see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.37 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.3589. A fall through the pivot level would bring the 23.6% fib at 0.3172 and the first major support level at 0.3072 into play. before any recovery. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.295 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.2889. Looking at the MACD, we've got a narrowing of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, but seeing Ripple's XRP avoid a bearish cross supporting the early upside. On the EMA, we're seeing the 50 move away marginally from the 100 and the 200, also suggestive of further upside ahead. So avoiding the pivot at 0.3239 and breaking back through to 0.34 levels should bring Ripple's XRP a run at 0.37 levels on the day. Failure to do that and support levels are in play.